There are 4 quadrants that you're going to find that you're in. Hi everybody, this is Ash. I wanted to go over a very important video. So if you're an entrepreneur-minded person, if you're looking to being in your own business, if you're looking for ways to have financial freedom, financial abundance, time freedom, location freedom, you're at the right spot. Today I'm going to be breaking down this book called Cashflow Quadrant, which many of you probably heard of. But I'm going to do it in a very different way because I'm going to have you look at it as if you are a business owner and want to have 3 main things in life, and that is financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. So here we go. This is the book right here, as you can see, Cashflow Quadrant. So over the next few lessons, and in fact, this is going to be broken down into 30 different videos. So every video you're going to see after this, I'm going to be teaching you how to look at Cashflow Quadrant and how this book can help you make substantial amount of money. It can help you change your life. It can help you get the most out of what you want out of life. So first thing is, I want to break down what is Robert Kiyosaki talking about Cashflow Quadrant. There's 4 ways where people earn money. And let me read a few sentences here, and I'm going to break it down for you so you fully get this. Because over the next 30 lessons you're going to watch, you're going to become a master. You're going to have raised your financial IQ. You're going to know how to invest. You're going to know how to find the right businesses to get into and how to build your own brand if you want to do that. So the first thing is, each of us resides in one of these 4 quadrants, what he says here, where we are determined where our cash flow comes from. Many of us rely on paychecks, where they're therefore like employees, paycheck to paycheck mentality, and others are self-employed, where they're looking at where do they get their next paycheck from collecting their money from their customers. Cashflow Quadrant is all about 4 different types of people who make up the world of business. They're mainly individuals who each have different quadrant links they get into. It will help them to define where they are by charting the course and where they want to be in the future. While financial freedom can be found in all 4 of the quadrants, the skill B and I will help you reach your financial goals much more quickly and successfully from the E quadrant. You notice what he said here, financial freedom, which means money enough to pay your bills, can be done with any of these quadrants. Some people think that I have to be on this side of the fence where I have to own my own business. I have to be somewhat like, for example, Michael Zuckerberg, like a Facebook type of entrepreneur for me to have financial freedom. No, you could have financial freedom even in a good job. So let's not kid ourselves. But here, let's get into it a little bit more deeply. What do you want to be when you grow up? Remember when you were 7 years old and your teacher tells you, hey, kids, I want you to write down where you want to be, or what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember the days I wrote down, I want to be a pilot. I love to fly planes, okay? And other kids wrote down being a fireman. Some people wrote down, I want to be a disc jockey, whatever. Or I want to be a professional football player. We all had dreams. So here's what he's getting you to think about, is that thinking about where you want to be when you grow up. So go back when you were young. Think about where you wanted to be in life. Are you where you are right now? Well, you're probably watching this video because you're not where you want to be. You want to have one of those 3 things I just mentioned. So he talks about the 4 different quadrants. And I'm going to skip through a little bit here because there's a lot of pages, but I want to go into the nuts and bolts of this so you fully understand. And here he writes about Jacques Rousseau mentions, man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. One thinks of himself as a master of others and still remains greater slave than they. So even though you are free, you are somewhat master of someone else. Even if you own your own business, think about it. Even if you have your own business, you may think that you're the boss when you look in the mirror, but in reality, guess what? Your clients or your customers become the boss, even though they're not your employees. But it's a relationship that you have with them as well. So let's break it down on the table of contents here. I'm going to go through these, but let's just go to the first few pages. You're going to get a lot of value out of this call here. Okay, here, let's break it down. Once upon a time, there was a quaint little village. It was a great place to live for one problem. The village had no water unless it rained. To solve this problem once for all the village, the elders decided to put into a bid a contract to have the water delivered to the village on a daily basis. Well, guess what? 2 people volunteered to take the task, and the elders awarded the contract to both of them. They felt that little competition would keep the prices low and ensure back of the water supply. I love this story. You're going to see how this, and I already know the story. I can read it over again, but if you want to read the book, that's fine. But let me explain to you the summary of this story, because I already went through this several times. So there's 2 people. One of them was name was Ed. The other name was Bill. You'll see where I get these names, Ed and Bill. You can see where I'm going with this. So Ed ran out, and he went out and bought steel buckets to distribute the water to the people in the home in that village. So what he would do is get himself a big truck, get buckets, hire a few employees, and guess what? He was in business right off the bat, and he's able to build a business. And one thing I'll tell you about entrepreneurs, how do you think he got the money for the truck? How do you think he got money to hire employees, to have an establishment, a location where he's going to do his business? Funding, capital, getting capital. Being a business owner, one of the first things you want to think about is how you're going to acquire the capital to grow your business. But here's the thing I'll tell you right up now. Don't limit yourself and thinking that since I don't have any money, I can't start a business. Wrong. Especially if you live in America, this is one of the easiest places to get capital compared to other countries. I know, I'm from Canada originally, and it's much more difficult to get capital from other countries. So let's continue. All right. And in this chapter, this book here, he talks about where Ed goes out and gets contracts. He's offering them a good low price. He can start right away. So he gets a few contracts, and he's distributing, and he's working from 6 a.m. to 6 at night, and he's still on the left side of the quadrant. Let me skim up here and show you that quadrant again. So Ed is still on this side of the quadrant. He's still trading, although he's a small business owner, he owns his own business, he is still trading time for his money. On the other side, Bill, well, if you read through here, let's go back down to this page. If you read through the rest of this book, okay, you'll show you why Bill is different. And I'll summarize what he's saying here. Bill decides to do unbelievably. This guy's so creative. He decides to set up a pipeline from the river, from the water where it was coming from, and plug it into different homes, having a pipeline come in going through a process, and then to clean the water to make sure it's all able to drink and all that. So he just sets up this pipeline to all the homes that he signed up with. So what he did, he went out and contacted business owners saying, listen, I can get you water for cheaper, and it'll be 24/7. You'll have it. You won't have any of my people knocking on your door saying, here's your water today, lugging it in a pan or whatever the case may be, in a bucket. So he got more business this way. But the problem was this: it takes time to build a pipeline. So it took him several months, maybe 2 or 3 months. That's what I think it says here. And he finally sets up this pipeline. And guess what? Once he sets up this pipeline, which cost or invested more money than having buckets going around. And guess what? He was able to get more business this way and eventually take over the whole town of the business. Well, that left Ed, guess what? Broke or bankrupt, or he wasn't able to continue on to something else. So this is an example of 2 people doing the same thing, delivering water to homes, but one had a system in place, a process, a pipeline. Think of a business this way. If you have a business that is set up on a process, a system that's on automation, and all you do is control the main components of that, in this case, the valve for the water to come through and distribute it to different homes, depending on how much they need. And he had metered it, so that way he knows how much each one is consuming, and he could charge, per gallon, whatever they consumed. Very smart idea. So look at a problem out there, a business out there, that maybe you could upgrade with a new twist to it. So you don't have to go out and invent something new. This is the lesson we're learning from this book. So in this book, it's divided into 3 parts. The first part of this book is all about the core differences. Okay, people with different quadrants. So I'm going to break it down on our next call, what each of them actually does. Employee, the other one below that is the small business owner, and on the right-hand side is the big business, and below that is the investor. Okay, so we're going to break that down on the next call. But I hope you got some value and something you can use to start thinking differently as a business owner. comment on my channel here as well to make sure that you're getting this. If there's some things that you're not clear about, hit me up, okay? And I'll be happy to clarify any questions you have. Having said that, on the next chapter, we're going to be talking about why don't you just get a job. We're going to get down into the more nitty-gritty, and so make sure you're here, stay plugged in, and I'll speak to you on the next call. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.